It is time for Q&A. Yep, I am back. Today I'm doing mine on Wednesday. Today. Because Friday I'm going to be busy with other stuff. I have a job interview on Friday, so really I'm just going to be busy with that. As you can see, I must have a haircut. I'm in my work clothes today. Just got off work. Didn't have really time to change. I just wanted to get this out and get this out. And also, even though I promised a review from last weekend, I didn't get time to do it because of personal things came up, job-related stuff. Really been busy with that. That's been really a lot on my mind, you know. So I haven't really been time to really focus in on my YouTube videos as of late. But anyway, I'm gonna do my weekly Q&A for today instead of on Friday. So you all get a little early treat, okay? Okay. Alright, first question is from Idachan. Have you played any puzzle games other than Tetris? Yes, I have. I played Tetris Attack on the Super Nintendo. Very, very fun game. I loved it to no end. Even though it's a Tetris game, I still enjoyed it a lot. I played Puyo Pop and Puyo Puyo on the I played Puyo Pop on the PSP, the Puyo Pop Fever game. I played Puyo Puyo on the Genesis, or also known as Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I played some of the Neo Geo ones, like Puzzle Bobble or Bust a Move, as you all know. Money Puzzle Exchanger, Magic Drop 2 and 3. I played. I also played some in the arcades, such as like Camel Try, the Taito Camel Try game. There's some of the ones I can think off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Ultimate Block Party on the PSP. Very overlooked game. This game, it's very, very fun. It reminds me a lot like Tetris Attack in a way, but it's kind of like you have to actually flip the blocks around and actually move them into position. So it's a little bit more challenging than Tetris Attack, but definitely an overlooked game. You can get this game very, very cheap now for about like less than $20. And oh yeah, I tried checking my GameStop today for Dracula X Chronicles. It wasn't in just yet, so I have to probably wait till tomorrow to get it. Sucks, but anyway. Next question is from RE4 Lover. What's your opinion on the Street Fighter II the animated movie? One word. Let's see, where's that? Awesome. It kicks the shit out of anything that the real life action movie does. Awesome. So is Street Fighter Alpha. Street Fighter Alpha, the movie, I didn't think it was as good, but still a pretty fun movie. That movie right there kicks ass. I love that movie. Next question is from Gameatheist. Are there any good DS games most people don't know about, because I plan on getting one soon? Some good DS games I definitely recommend, or if you don't know already, both the Castlevania games definitely I recommend for you. The Mario Kart DS game, definitely check that out. Mario 64, if you haven't played it's worth playing if you already played the 64 version, but definitely that game is worth playing, just to play the different multiple characters. I would definitely recommend that. If you haven't played the game on the 64, I would definitely recommend Diddy Kong Racing. Final Fantasy 3 if you're an RPG fan, even though I'm not too crazy about the game because I didn't like the way they remade the graphics, but I think but for a pretty good RPG for what it is, it's still a good RPG. I definitely check that out. What else am I missing? The Mega Man ZX game, if you're a Mega Man fan, or if you're an action side-scroller fan, check that game out. Star Fox, if you're a Star Fox fan, check that out. What else am I missing? What else am I missing? Oh yeah, the new Super Mario Brothers game. That game is awesome. Very, very fun. One of the best Super Mario Brothers games in years. And another one to try out is Zookeeper. It's kind of like it's a puzzle game also. I forgot to add that to the puzzle games. Definitely check out that game. It's a puzzle game where you use the stylus and actually move around the different zoo animals and actually match them up. It's pretty fun. You can probably get it pretty cheap nowadays for the DS now. What else? And I think that's about it, basically. Okay. Next question is from, and also, what DS games suck really bad? I haven't really played that many bad DS games lately. I haven't really played the many bad DS games, but as far as I know, usually the licensed games are not that good. Some of the racing games on the DS are not that good, like Ridge Racer DS and like Asphalt. Those aren't really all that good. The driving games are kind of better on the PSP as far as that's concerned. Maybe some of the licensed games on there, they're like some of the stupid ones like Zack and Cody and some of them other stupid ones, Some of those games are kind of crappy, I would think. I would kind of stay away from those games. But from like a lot of the big licenses, a lot of the bigger licenses, names like the Mario games, the Star Fox, Mega Man, Castlevania, those games, definitely I would check those games out if I were you. Next question is on Master Mark 1790. I assume you watch the shows. My favorite is Dragon Ball Z. I watched it ever since I was a kid. Every issue and all that shit. But what do you think about Dragon Ball GT? I think they turned the art style too much and made the people in the story shit. And I think they tried to drag on the story too long and made the pointless plot twist when there was no need to. I think they should have ended the story of the Majin Buu saga. Definitely. Main reason why that it didn't really the storylines didn't make a lot of sense is because Dragon Ball GT wasn't really based off a manga. It was basically based off its own storyline, and it was kind of rushed, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really, from what I know, it wasn't really headed by Akira Toriyama, the storyline anyway, So that's the reason why the character wasn't really, the character designs were a little weird. Like if you look at Cell or something, or Frieza, they look a little weird. They look a little like weird or distorted. The character designs, the character models are kind of weird looking. If you notice. It definitely dragged on a bit too long, especially if you saw the full 64 episodes, especially in the beginning, because it really tried to go the whole comedy route. It tried to really go like people were expecting Dragon Ball Z type action as soon as it started, and that wasn't really the case with Dragon Ball Z. It was Dragon Ball GT, and it really drugged on for like the first couple episodes. And then when it came out to finally being action, that's when people turned away, So it was kind of too little, too late. So definitely, I think Dragon Ball GT flopped, and pretty much it only lasted about a good year and a half in Japan, as far as I know. Definitely, I just think they should have ended it with the Buu saga. That's how it ended on the manga. The 26, I think it was 42 volumes of the manga of Dragon Ball ended that way. So I think it should have kept it that way. But what are you gonna do? Next one is from Sonic Fan 39. Do you like Sonic 3D Blast? I like it for what it is, even though it is a bit slow paced. It's not like a regular Sonic game, and it's kind of weird because it's an isometric view. And also the way you play the game is different. You collect flackies and able to beat the level instead of just passing through the level. So it is a little bit weird. It's a bit different, and it's a good Sonic game, but it's not like as great as the other ones, as 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles. Definitely not, but it's still, I'd maybe give it like maybe a 7, maybe. It's good for what it is, but I wouldn't rate it above the other ones. Next question is from GulEvek. Do you really play games with your cock on the controller? You seem to mention it a lot. If I could probably do this. Like, I'd be doing the Macarena with the controller. The only thing is that probably, if I try to do that, I'll probably get rashes all over my dick. And playing fighting games on it will probably be a motherfucker. Because especially if you have to do constant quarter circle commands, like if you have to do like down, right. It's like playing pogo stick. Well, anyway, I'm not about that. It's just a little, I was just fucking with you. Well, anyway, next question is from TNA Fan 1337. What is your thoughts on Donkey Kong 64? Awesome 3D platformer. Definitely recommend it for anybody that's a fan of 3D platformers. That's one thing I like to say about Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 definitely has some good 3D platformers. Along with Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Super Mario, especially some of the rare ones are really, really good. Definitely thumbs up. Shurigan asked me, Crisis Adventure was bad, but what about the other original Game Boy Advance Game Boy games? I didn't play the other Game Boy games. I didn't play the Belmont's Revenge. I never played that. I never had a chance to. I didn't play Event of Legends, the other one where you play as Sonia Belmont. I didn't play that one either. The ones, I pretty much skipped to the Game Boy Advance ones. And the Game Boy Advance ones are fucking awesome. Game Boy Advance ones. If you want to check out a portable game, if you want to check out like any of the portable Game Boy games for Castlevania, check out any of the Game Boy Advance ones. Mr. X867. Have you seen the show Inuyasha? What do you think of that show? Yes, I have. I've watched it before on Adult Swim. I've also watched a few of the DVDs from friends and all that. What I think of that show? It started out good in the beginning, despite from what I mean, I like the poster I have up there because I kind of like the way it looks, you know. And I mean, it was good in the beginning, and it started off really well, but it just dragged on so long, and it got so fucking repetitive, you know. It just was the same shit, you know. It got with the whole Pokemon thing, you know what I'm saying? It just got to the point that it was the same shit, you know. Like, pretty much Inuyasha just goes and fights an enemy, then eventually Inuyasha gets his ass kicked, then Kagome or something gets captured or something like that, or she gets turned with some evil power, then Inuyasha overcomes the odds, like all heroes do, which is what I have a problem with clean heroes nowadays, because clean heroes are so fucking predictable. You know, so, and he overcomes the odds and just beats the enemy, everyone's happy, da-da. And worse yet, the anime doesn't even fucking end. You have to read the manga to figure out what happens. Go through 116 episodes, and you have us just fucking go off on, like, end it like that. Fuck you, Inuyasha staff, whoever made the anime. You can suck these nuts. As far as I know. It just drags on way too long. You know, you have to, you watch all the episodes just to find out that the fucking thing, you have to read the manga. It's so retarded. Next thing is from JEF Killtron. What is your opinion on the old N64 games being refined into the DS games? As far as I know, I don't think there's really that many games that are really being formatted into Nintendo DS games. The only games I can really think of off the top of my head that are really being remade into DS games are probably the Diddy Kong Racing, Super Mario 64. Well, Resident Evil is not really a 64 game. It was a PlayStation game. It was originally a PlayStation game, so I wouldn't really count that. So really, it's not that really many games being remade on the DS. You know what I'm saying? DS has a lot of original games, more so. The PSP, however, is the king of remakes. Next question is from Big Pooch. Are you looking forward for a next installment of F-Zero on the Wii? Definitely. F-Zero, awesome. Love F-Zero. Favorite game of F-Zero is F-Zero X on the Nintendo 64. Game was fucking kick ass. And I just want to see how the Wii controls are gonna work, and or if they're gonna actually use the classic controller to play the game. I'm just wondering how that's gonna work. Just really looking forward to seeing that. Crow 51. Which Dragon Ball Z era did you like? Vegeta Saga, Frieza Saga, Cell Saga, or Buu Saga? Out of the four, or out of all of them? Well, out of the four, well, probably out of all of them, probably my favorite time of Dragon Ball Z was definitely the Cell games. Cell games fucking owned. Cell owns. He kicks ass. Cell's like my favorite villain in Dragon Ball Z. He was just so badass, and he was just so cool. He just sounded cool, you know what I'm saying? He just sounded so badass. I mean, when he was his perfect form, he was fucking kick-ass. I was a huge mark for him when I was a kid. I was a huge mark for him. I had the action figure and everything. I had the action figure and everything. I even have right here, I had this poster right here, which has all the villains on there. It has Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu on there. Definitely the Cell fucking saga owns. I love the Cell games. Great action scenes, great fights, great drama as well. Definitely. Future Trunks is in there too, which I'm another big mark for. So, definitely Cell Saga. Definitely. Brainiac. Do you think that Metal Gear 4 will be released on the Xbox 360? Maybe later, maybe about 6 to a year later, because I remember Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance got released on the Xbox, the original Xbox, on about a year or so later after Metal Gear Solid 2 did. So it might be a possibility if the PS3's Metal Gear Solid 4 sales don't do all that good, it might be a possibility that we might see a port of it. It might be, even though that I'm hearing that it's supposed to be designed for the Cell processor, but anything's possible. I'm saying with the right amount of cash and with the right bullshit, it can happen. Power of the Warrior asked me, Anthony, I'm starting to consider making YouTube videos for my laptop. I don't have a webcam. I'm looking for a webcam that gives off decent quality and a fair price. Do you have any suggestions? Well, I would say, well, since you're running a laptop, there's two types of webcams though. There's like the kind of webcam which you have on your laptop, which is like a little small, like it looks like a little like clothespin kind of thing, and you can buy it for a laptop. Then you have like the regular webcam mics that are made for a PC that sit on top of your monitor or on top of your desk. You can usually, I would definitely recommend a Logitech webcam, definitely, if you can buy one from like Best Buy. Check it out at Circuit City. You know, they can really get them for like $40-50 usually. They're not really that expensive, but they range about $40 to $50 about. So I would definitely check out. I would probably definitely get one if you're using a laptop. I would definitely get one for a laptop so you can put it right on top of your laptop and it's easily accessible. So I would definitely check that out. Check out Best Buy. Check out any place that sells PC equipment. Even Target sells webcams. So definitely that. Next question is from SSA316. Was wondering, have you played any of the PS2 Shinkuken games? The only PS2 Shinkuken game I played, which was a demo, which was Shinkuken 4, and it was pretty good. It was pretty decent. I didn't play the full game. I wanted to play Shinkuken 3 because I heard that was really good, as well as they even released a manga of Shinkuken 3. So I always wanted to play that. And plus, it's kind of rare too. So I always wanted to play that as well. But I played both the Shinkuken 1, both Shinkuken 1 and Shinkuken 2 on the PS1. I love those games both wholeheartedly. Definitely, if you have a PS1, if you like RPGs, and if you're like a big fan of the 2D RPGs, the classic RPGs, console style RPGs, check those games out. They may be a bit more rare because they're hard to find nowadays, becoming more and more hard to find. So definitely check those games out if you haven't had the chance to. Ari Sonic. What's your favorite game in the Mega Man X series? Mega Man X series, out of the Mega Man X series, I definitely have to go and say Mega Man X4. Mega Man X4 pretty much nailed every single piece of aspect of the gameplay. Definitely, it had cutscenes in there. Anime cutscenes were in there, were awesome. Gameplay was just rock solid from beginning to end. Even though the English voice acting was kind of crappy, but it was still good. You know, it still had some anime cutscenes, which was like a fucking marvel back then. You know, it was like I was getting a huge horror from seeing the fucking anime cutscenes back then. You know what I'm saying? That's like one of the first anime cutscenes I seen in a video game. You know, so I was a huge mark for that. I beat that game countless times. Mega Man X4. My second favorite definitely has to be Mega Man X3 because Mega Man X3 pretty much had this great gameplay, this solid gameplay, great music, just nailed everything to a T. And also, Mega Man X4 was also the first game, the first full game to play. You can play is Mega Man X or Zero, and pretty much has two different separate story arcs. So I was a big mark for that because I'm a big Zero fan. Next question is from Cecil MC Woot. Do you like the Xbox 360 game War Techno Road? Yes, I have. If you see me like about a couple weeks ago, see me on Xbox Live playing it. Yes, I do. It's actually a pretty neat game. Let's see. Even though this game may not look like it from the front, if you look at the back, it has an anime art style look to it. It looks like very anime art stylish, especially with the graphics. Like a lot of the this game is probably the most Japanese game on the Xbox 360, which is very shocking because usually Xbox 360 doesn't really put out that many Japanese-esque games, you know. You would expect it to be on the PS2 or something, you know. So usually, like a lot of the and plus this is an arcade port of an actual arcade game made by GulEvek, which is also the same people that made the arcade shooter for Under the Feet for the Dreamcast. If anyone is a fan of shoot 'em ups. But definitely, this game is a very, very unique game. You know, this game is kind of a combination between Virtual On and Psychic Force. You know, you have like your flying people where you fly around, like you have your little flying ships and you shoot shots at each other. And pretty much it's a combination between a shoot 'em up and a fighting game. You know, you have your opponents and you fight. And even though the storyline, even though it has Japanese dialogue in it with English subtitles, the storyline is kind of convoluted at points. It's not really makes a whole lot of sense though. But it's still pretty fun to play. It's a unique game, and you can probably get this game for like $30 now, new, from like EB Games or GameStop. So if you're a big fan of like anime, or if you're a big fan of like shoot 'em up games, something different on the 360, definitely check this game out. I would definitely recommend it. I was thinking about doing a review of this game actually, but since my 360 crapped out on me, I can't do that anytime soon. So sorry. Next question is from Sora2500. What do you think about the new Street Fighter 4 trailer? I saw the trailer. It looks the trailer looks awesome, but I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard that it's going into 3D now. I have no problem with it going into 3D, but the only problem is that I wish it was kind of going into 2D. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a bigger fan of the 2D games. Because I did like the 3D games such as the Street Fighter EX, and even though I think the Street Fighter EX games are very underrated, they were good games, but they weren't like as good as the 2D fighter ones, like these games like Third Strike and Super Street Fighter 2. But they were still good. They were still decent. But I just think that they should just keep with the format that a lot of Street Fighter fans love. And I think they should really do that and just bring it to the next gen and start trying to replicate something like a Tekken style or like a Virtua Fighter style, or try and do something like that. I just think they should just really be their own game. I just think they should really do that. So I just want to see how it turns out first before I go and make judgments on it. That's just what I have to say about that. Quicksilver938. I just got PS1. What do you suggest? Well, since I answered this question before, but I'm just gonna give you a quick rundown of some of the games I definitely recommend. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, definitely recommend that game for anybody. If you're a fan of this 2D action, just recommend that game for anybody. Any of the Tekken games, Crash Bandicoot if you're a 3D platformer fan, Jet Moto if you're a racing fan, Gran Turismo, I forgot to add that game. If you're a racing fan, Gran Turismo 1 or 2, awesome racing games. I love that game. I love those games. Those games are fucking awesome. I forgot to mention that in a couple of videos ago. Definitely Spyro the Dragon if you're a 3D Fighter fan. Kohola on the PS1. Tomba, it's another 2D platforming game if you're a fan of 2D platforming. If you're a Mega Man fan, Mega Man 8, Mega Man X4, X5, X6, any of those games are pretty fun to play. Definitely, maybe some of the later Ridge Racer games if you're a racing fan. Some other RPG titles such as like if you're not familiar with the Final Fantasy games 7, 8, and 9. Some of the other Threads of Fate. It's a pretty good RPG. It's kind of short though, but it's kind of a good action RPG. Grandia, check that game out definitely. Let me see. Breath of Fire 3 is a pretty decent RPG. It's a standard console RPG. It's got a pretty good story to it. It's got some pretty nice tweaks here and there, so it's definitely worth checking out. Shinkuken 1 and 2, that game. Vandal Hearts, if you're a tactics fan, check out that game. Vandal Hearts is a must for any tactician RPG fan. Final Fantasy Tactics, another one. There's some of the ones I can name off the top of my head. Any of the Street Fighter games like Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, and 3. Street Fighter EX is a decent game, not bad, not great. I mean, some of the other ones like Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Just giving you just some run off things off the top of my head. Metal Gear Solid, forgot to add the Masterpiece. Forgot to add that. I don't know how I forgot that. But Castlevania Chronicles is good if you're a fan of the original Castlevania games. Like if you're a fan of the original Castlevania games on the NES and the Super Nintendo and those games. And just some of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Okay. I know I answered that question before. I just wanted to give that a quick rundown. Gamer3620. What do you think about the Sega Nomad? Do you have one? No, I never owned a Sega Nomad because pretty much by the time that came out, pretty much the next gen was already out by then, and pretty much the PlayStation and the Saturn was basically my main focus then. And pretty much around that time, I was just into PlayStation more so than the Genesis at the time. So I really didn't get a chance to really own one. But I saw one. I mean, I know they're really helping value now, but the only problem is that the battery life sucks the shit out of your. It takes like 6 AA batteries, and it just sucks up like a fucking like a Ford Excursion. It just fucking sucks it up like, So I just use my Game Boy. I just use my PSP for that. I just use my PSP, and I just have a Genesis emulator on that. I mean, even though I know a lot of people can't really get it on there because of the firmware, but it's still pretty fun. It's still pretty good to have. And if you want to have just the legit Sega Nomad, I think it's pretty well worth collecting if you're a Sega collector, or if you just want something to have your little Genesis game on the road. Even though it's kind of big and bulky, but it's still pretty good. Last question is from Chrono Trigger fan. What do you want to do as your career? I know you're a PC technician, but that's a job. Something within the video game industry. I ask it because I'm getting to the point I have to make decisions myself. I'm wondering what's in the cards for other gaming companies in this type of position. Well, to be honest, a PC technician is going to be my career because, you know, even though, like, I love video games as much as I love video games, the thing is that me, like, I'm more into the console, I'm more into the retro games, to be honest. I'm not really into the a lot of the newer games right now don't really interest me that much because I see like a lot of the newer games, like a lot of the new games right now, they just don't interest me as much as some of the older games did. So I really don't play a lot of the newer games as much as I do with the older games. You know, right now I'm replaying the Sailor Moon Another Story on my laptop right now. On my laptop, you know, that game's like on the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, you know. So I like some of those old retro games more so than playing the newer games. That's probably one reason why I don't really go into the gaming industry, because a lot of the newer games don't interest me as much, and I really don't want to like work on newer games, to be honest. And also, like, a lot of people ask me, like, why don't you become a game tester? A game tester is not always it's cracked it to be. Trust me, because I knew some people that actually became game testers, and it's not as fun as it is. Like, an example of a game tester is that you're like maybe a character, like in a field or something like that. Maybe you're running around a field or something like that. Then you have to run into the wall like 50 times or something like that to see if the collision detection's okay. Or you have to jump off this cliff for like 20 minutes or something like that and see if it actually registers and all that, you know. It's things like that, you know. It's not like just straight up playing the game and playing through the actual game like you're actually playing the game, you know. It's like it's a lot more repetitive than that, you know. It's like you may have to get hit by this enemy 20 times to see if the hit detection will work, or see if there's any clipping in the graphics or something like that. That's what the game testers do. It's not what it's cracked up to be. And I'm not really. And people ask me, what about being a game designer? Well, being a game designer, pretty much I'm not that good at drawing as far as like 2D sprites, and I'm not really good at like drawing things on paint, to be honest, you know. So I'm not really artistic in that area. And to be quite honest, I like doing PC stuff, you know what I'm saying? I like working on PCs. I'm good at troubleshooting PCs. I built my own machine that I have right here. I'm really good at working with that. I'm really good with working with the operating system, with Windows, working with Macintoshes. You know, I really want to learn more about the operating systems, and I'm really good at that. And also, since computers are going to be around for a long, long time, probably till God knows when, you know, unless there's a big, huge fucking crash or something like that pretty much kills all electricity or something, you know. Pretty much computers are going to be around till the day I die, or till humanity dies, or till whenever, you know. So pretty much I'm basically going to have some kind of job. I'm going to be in demand. So that's probably the reason. That's mainly the reason why I took my PC tech job, and I really went that career path and actually went to school for being a PC support technician. That's my career that I got. I went for at Lincoln Tech, which is my school down here in down around where I live. You know, so I really wanted to do that. Now it's not like I forced myself into that. I wanted to do it. You know, and even though I don't play PC games, you know, I'm not a big PC gamer because a lot of the games that just don't interest me, and also I don't like using a keyboard and mouse to play games. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are saying like, why don't you play PC games? I said, a lot of the games just don't interest me. You know what I'm saying? I like playing the old console retro games. That's just what I like. I like playing those games. You know, it's something I just feel better when I'm playing those games. So really, I just got into my career as a position. And speaking of which, like I said before, I'm going for an interview on Friday. Possibly I might be getting into a higher advancing job. Possibly I might be getting into something like in a company, a small company. You know, just to get myself in a foot in the door, because right now, the company I'm at now, I'm working like, it's not really like a dead-end job. It's kind of like at a point that I can't really advance anymore. You know, I want to get into a company that I can advance myself and eventually get higher up and eventually grow and actually expand my knowledge. That's really the reason why I'm really going for another job at this point. You know, that's the reason I have to get my hair cut. I have to look professional. I have to look slick. You know how the whole thing goes. First impressions are everything. So, and also by doing that, I don't know what shift I'm gonna be working. I don't know what time I'm going to be getting off from work. I don't know if I'm going to be working first shift, second shift. I don't know if I'm going to be working at night, or working 2 to 10, or working 2 to 9 or something. I really don't know what my hours are going to be. I don't know if I have to work weekends. So I might not be on here as much for a while at least, because I'm just going to be busy with this, my new job. I'm just going to be busy with that. I might have projects on the side. I might have to work weekends, you know. So I might have a lot to do with, I might not have a lot of time to really shoot YouTube videos, to be honest. So, I know I wanted to do more reviews though, but like I said before, life's just taking a big turn. The life's just been taking a really big turn right now in my life. So I appreciate all you watching my videos. I'm still gonna be doing YouTube videos, just probably not as often. So keep supporting me, keep supporting my vids, and also for the people that talk to me on AIM, on MSN, I thank all of you too. I might not be on there as much because I might have time to actually go on there on MSN to actually check on things like that, so I might not be on there as much anymore. So definitely, alright, this has been Jedite. Peace out.